Hello everybody, welcome to Blue Marble Science. You know, we can see the moon and the sun at the same time. And somebody in Daytona send over a bucket of salve for that guy, because his ass is going to need it when this is over with.
Just tie a knot in it.
Warning. Severe facial and monitor damage alert is in effect. Get out the oven mitts. Push the monitors back out of punching range. And Gladys, let's light this dumpster fire and have some fun. Get her, Pawpaw.
What's up, everybody? That guy again, here to explain what I guess Blue Marble Science or Where's Wally or any other globetard commenting on my channel can't understand.
Are we understanding each other? You're an idiot!
Basic geometry. You see here, Wally has his orange, or Blue Marble Science has his oranges out here. He's got the orange representing Earth, right? That's Earth. There's the moon, right? Notice where he's holding his camera to see the moon. If that's 180, I imagine that dotted line would be 180, midnight, relative to the Earth, right? That would be close to a full moon. And why does he have to hold his camera above the orange? Why do you think he's got to hold his camera above the orange to see this moon? Because if he was on the orange where I was standing when I filmed the 89% full moon 15 degrees above the horizon, he wouldn't be able to see it. Doesn't take a genius to understand if you're standing on the orange representing Earth, on the daytime side, the half of the orange closest to us, that is, you couldn't see that moon because it's behind the Earth. I mean, it's so obvious and so simple. It's astounding, absolutely astounding, that he's pretending he doesn't understand.
Are we understanding each other? You're an idiot!
What he physically demonstrated with his own hands. And guess what? It matches Wally's demonstration of the exact same thing. See Wally here? See where his moon is? Way. Yep, the moon I filmed would be somewhere around here. Hey, I drew it up for you. Here we go. So I don't go too fast, and Blue Marble says, all you're saying is you don't have one coherent thought. It's just word salad.
Well, given the fact that you don't do too well with third grade math, geometry is way beyond your reach, and I doubt you could draw a tub of bath water, much less a picture of the solar system. What do you think?
Are we understanding each other? You're an idiot!
I don't understand what you mean by put the camera on the orange where you were standing when you made the observation. I don't understand what you mean by look away from the Earth instead of putting your camera above the Earth. Anything he can do to avoid showing that again. Anything he can do to avoid showing his lunar cycle again. He wants to tell me, I can pick any date in the future and have Stellarium model it, and it's gonna match reality when that day comes. No shit. And you're gonna have the same view from the same perspective as a person on Earth. We already have the observation, Blue Marble. I've told you this. Why are you going in circles again? We already went over what Stellarium shows. the same exact view I've already shown. We already have the observation. Now you need to compare it to your heliocentric model. Just because they say they're using the heliocentric model isn't proving it's using the heliocentric model. You're going to have to compare the two, like you've already done when you debunked yourself, and like Wally did when he also debunked you. My God, man. The intellectual dishonesty couldn't be more apparent. So what do we have here? Top view looking down, that would be the North Pole, looking down on the Earth. Following, 0 represents noon. 180 represents midnight. This is the Earth, by the way. So I don't lose any of you. Cognitive dissonance is scary. Scary strong in the globetard. That's the Earth. Okay. These are 15 degrees per hour. It was 4:30 when I filmed that moon. 15 degrees. This is the flat plane at 4:30. You can see it's intersecting with 4:30 very clearly, correct? That would be a line of sight. I saw the moon 15 degrees above that line of sight. The elevation of the moon was at least 15 degrees. I claim it's more, but we'll go with what they say. 15 degrees. This line represents that 15 degree of elevation above the line of sight, correct? That's where your moon should be, right? That's where I filmed it. Unfortunately, an 89% moon only occurs in between these two lines, depending on the math you use, because that again doesn't coincide with your model either. You can either do 10% of 100%, which would get you at 162 degrees, or you can say it's 3 days from being full at 12.5 degrees per day, roughly. So erring on the earliest place an 89% moon could ever possibly be on your model is 143 degrees.
Well, I see the problem, but you can't see it because of the problem you got here. I'll tell you what, let's use 142.5 degrees, not 143. You're still having trouble with that arithmetic stuff, aren't you? Back to AutoCAD. This time I've revised the drawing just to show the observation that you made. Once again, the sun is way, way, way over there on the left-hand side. The red circle is the orbit of the moon. Now, I'm drawing it as if it's circular, but when you look at that in plan view, given the fact that the moon's orbital plane is tilted with respect to the ecliptic plane of the Earth, that's not really going to look like a circle. It's going to look like an ellipse. But for our purposes, this will be close enough. Again, in the center, we have a representation of the Earth, with the left-hand half of the Earth being illuminated by that sun that's way over there on the left. I have positioned the moon. Here's the moon as you saw it. 37.5 degrees before the 180 degree point. That would be exactly 3 days. At the time you made the observation, you were literally 3 days and about 6 hours from full moon. So in theory, the moon should actually have been here. That's a little bit of a difference. But showing it there where I have is more beneficial to you. It actually hurts me. So again, taking a line from the moon back to a point on the earth where the observer is. How are we going to find that? Well, sunset was at 5:30, actually 5:26 on the 8th of December. If this is the 6 o'clock position, we need to back up 22.5 degrees, and that would be 4:30, the time at which you made your observation. At that point, I have drawn a line tangent to the surface of the earth. Notice all these lines meet at that point. Everything hits right there. That will be Daytona Beach, Florida. This line goes from the center through that point, demonstrating 90-degree angle, meaning that that is truly the tangent. The next thing I did is rotate another line. That'll be this red center line, this very center one here. Rotate a line 15 degrees up from that horizon. That's what you observed, the moon about 15 degrees above the horizon. When we do that, we end up with this moon being visible from this line to you. But only the white part here is being illuminated. So, in actuality, what you see is from here to here. I measured those angles just for fun. The full moon width is 0.48 degrees. The part you can see to that purple line, that magenta line, is 0.43 degrees. I'll let you do this on your own. Divide 0.43 by 0.48. You'll come up with 89% illuminated. Okay? Clear enough? Now we're going to look at the physical model that proves this in just a minute. And that's what these other lines are about. Let me do a distance measurement. So from the center of the globe, if I measured over to a point 82 inches away, then I measure from that point perpendicular. Whoops, something didn't go right. Let's try it again. Distance. From that point to the center line, we end up with 67.79, about 68 inches. Remember those two numbers, 82 inches and 68 inches. As long as I maintain those two dimensions for the simulation, it will put the moon along the same line as it would be if you're all the way out here. The globe that I have is about 8 inches in diameter, so I would have to be 20 feet away, and I just don't have that much room. So we're going to cut it to about a third of that. Now that's how it works. So here's the setup. Way over by the tool chest, tool cabinet, you can see the moon. We'll see it better here in a second. Here's our Earth. And you will notice that I have taken a nail and inserted it in the world right there at about where Daytona Beach is. Got it? You'll also notice that I have blocked the base of this up at a 23-degree angle. That 2x4 was cut on that saw, and I haven't touched it since I cut it. So there's the 23-degree angle I used. And I've also cocked the earth just slightly because we're not quite to the solstice on December the 8th. On the solstice, December the, what is that, 23rd this year, whatever it is, this would be lined up perpendicular like that with that tape measure. But here's the other thing I want you to see. You see the scale up on the top. Okay. Delineating daytime and nighttime. I have lined this up so that the nail is in line with about 4:30, the time that you made your observation. There's 4:30, and you can see the nail down there. And then I have made the terminator perpendicular. In other words, perpendicular to the tabletop and perpendicular to this tape measure. Now we need to use those distances that we measured. So from about the center of the globe, we're going to come over 82 inches. Move that just a little bit. Doesn't matter much. That's one measurement. And we need about 68 inches to the center of the moon. Now here's the moon. I painted the back side of it black to make the terminator more visible. There's, see if we can see it, there's 68 inches, center of the moon. So that's pretty close. And I've got the moon slightly above the elevation of the Earth because the moon's orbital plane is tilted that way. The other thing I've done is found a point over here on the tool cabinet which will roughly be correct for the tangent to the Earth at Daytona Beach. So let's go have a look at that. Okay, I have this string attached to the tool chest, and as you can see, let me get over the top of it here. You can see the string's pretty well lined up with that straight edge. And then I have taken a protractor, which is set for 15 degrees. You should be able to see that there. And if you look at the protractor, let me try to do this. If you look at the protractor, you'll see that it lines up quite nicely with our moon over there. So that moon is definitely simulating a moon 15 degrees above the horizon. Well, what do we see? There's the nail. Actually, let me turn it sideways a little bit because this is sort of the way you were seeing it. There's the nail. I'm as close to it as I can get. And you see, you're seeing most of the moon. I'd say about 89%. But let's be sure of something here. Is this line truly tangent? Let me swap hands here. Let's see if we can video this. All right. Touching the nail. You see where it touches the globe. It's actually touching behind it slightly. Looks like closer to Tampa. Okay? That is most definitely tangent. And you definitely are not blocked by the Earth at that point. Not even close. Can you see the gap between the line? There you go. So, there's a simulation of the Earth and the Moon visible in the daylight with room to spare. That guy, it's time to take down your channel, buddy.
Just tie a knot in it.
Are we understanding each other? You're an idiot!
Well, if he doesn't get it now, it's hopeless. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. I promise this will be the last one of these. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. And Gladys, take us out of here.